Hello, and welcome to this very special Cinco de Mayo episode of This Is a Place podcast. Oh wait, I'm doing this wrong. Hola, bienvenidos a Este es un Lugar podcast. Mi nombre es Nathan y conmigo es mi amigo Brandon.
Hola Nathan.
¿Cómo estás?
Muy bien.
¿Todo bien?
Todo bien.
Well, question for you. What do you call a Mexican who's lost his car?
What?
Carlos. And then one quick story. I went to this magic show a few years ago with this Mexican magician.
Mm-hmm.
And for the very final act, he said, uno, dos, and then he disappeared without a trace.
Oh, no.
All right.
Well, we had to be a little cliche to begin our Cinco de Mayo episode. Happy Cinco de Mayo to everybody.
Where everybody thinks it's because of it's
Mexican Independence Day.
It's Mexicans July 4th, right?
It's definitely not.
Well, number one, it's not July 4th. It's May 5th. But do you know why?
There was a
It's
battle. I know there was a battle for
Battle
the
of Puebla.
That's as far as I get.
So it was it's the anniversary of the Battle of Puebla, and it was a military victory in 1862 over the French forces of Napoleon III.
So what does that mean to us?
Another excuse to party. Kind of like we were talking on our St. Patrick's Day episode, right? Like, we as Americans just love...
We love the party.
Excuses to party. And I'm going to guess, just like we were talking about on our St. Patrick's Day, that Mexico probably doesn't celebrate Cinco de Mayo quite as heavy as we do here in America, right?
Nope.
But is there ever a holiday needed for this? I don't think so. I mean, there's always a good day. It's always a good day, I should say, to eat tacos.
We have a whole day in the week dedicated to eating tacos.
Yeah, I mean, we love the Mexican culture and food so much here in America that we dedicated a whole day for it, right? And unfortunately, last year was COVID because Cinco de Mayo fell on Taco Tuesday.
And every other holiday.
So, like, yes.
Weekends
so
last
it was kind
year.
of unfortunate last year that we didn't get to celebrate Cinco de Mayo or didn't give it the respect it really deserved last year, being a double holiday of Taco Tuesday and Cinco de Mayo. That's what I'm getting at. So
we had to go further this year with a whole episode dedicated to a Mexican restaurant and Cinco de Mayo itself.
Exactly. Before we started our podcast, we were walking down memory lane of all the Latino songs that we like.
Yeah.
And it brought up one memory I just wanted to bring up really quick. I just felt it's very, very important.
It is very important.
To share. So before I left on my mission, I thought I could learn Spanish if I bought the Enrique Iglesias CD called Vivir.
Of course.
And I listened to it over and over. Do you know how much Spanish I learned from that? Zero. I knew how to sing along to the songs, but I had no idea.
Did you even know what Vivir meant?
No, I did not. Because that was before the age of Google. So you couldn't really Google anything. You would have to pull out your Spanish dictionary and look up every word if that's what you wanted to do to learn what the meanings were. So you cannot learn Spanish by just listening to music. But I still love Enrique Iglesias.
Same.
So this week we thought we would highlight one of my favorite local Mexican restaurants called Salsaleedos. Mm-hmm. I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
Salsaleedos.
Really good food, and they got kind of a different take on the Mexican food. It's not
a traditional Mexican restaurant.
Yeah. But we reached out to the general manager of the restaurant, and he was kind enough to take a few minutes to chat with us about the restaurant and the history and all that good stuff. So let's take a listen to what Jake had to say about Salsaleedos.
Hi, I'm Jake Bright. I've been the general manager for Salsaleedos for 10 years plus. I've pretty much been in the industry my whole life. When I was 14, I was a dishwasher. When I was 15, 16, I washed dishes, bussed. Pretty much full or part-time. I've waited tables, or I was a server, worked at many restaurants. Then I met Travis Bonino, the owner, and he hired me as a server, actually. And about a month later, I was a supervisor, and about 8 months after that, I was the GM.
Very cool. How many hours do you work? I don't think I've ever been there without seeing you working, whether it be in early in the afternoon or late at night. So how many hours do you put in, Jake?
Right. I usually put in about 45, 50 hours on the average. Sometimes weeks are close to 60, and sometimes weeks are just 40, but it's about 45 hours on the average. And then of course I'm always working, responding to emails or making schedules, or there's a problem at the restaurant. Yeah. Right. Yeah, for sure. So, and I love it. So yeah, about 45 hours.
Yeah. You always seem to be having a good time when I see you at the restaurant. So that's good that you enjoy what you do.
Yeah. It's all about your attitude, right?
Yeah, exactly. Do you know the history of the restaurant? Because I know that's not the location they started at, right?
Right. Yeah. So I do. So Travis started out in 2001, and he was in Sandy for, I want to say 4 years.
Okay.
And then he moved from Sandy to West Jordan. Mm-hmm. And he was in West Jordan. You probably remember Salsaleedos being in West Jordan.
Yeah, right by that Wingers, right?
Yep. Right off of just 90th and Redwood.
Right.
So yeah, he was there for another 4 years, and then moved to Riverton, which we used to be where Wicked Pill is now. We're about 2 blocks away from our current. We were about 2 blocks away from our current location.
On the west side of Bangor Highway, correct?
On the west side of Bangor, off of 134, and we were there for 5 years, and in the training table, which is where we're currently at, that they went out of business. Kind of a tragic deal with them. They were about 30 years plus in business, and so they went out of business. So Travis, he's pretty smart, and he just was like, "What should we buy the building?" And I was all for it, because I didn't want another Mexican joint to open up there. You know what I mean? So
yeah, be your competition.
Right. So we bought the building, and that was his dream, to own a Mexican restaurant in Riverton. So he leased the buildings, the first few places that he went, starting out Salsaleedos, but then now we own the building that we're in now. So it's real, you know what I mean? Travis is he's a genuine guy, and knows a lot of people. He is an honorary colonel with the Sandy City Police. When he started in Sandy, he did a lot for the community, and even in West Jordan, and then now in Riverton. We made a pretty good name for ourselves, being community strong and stuff like that. We do things that other restaurants don't. Thankfully, our guests, without them, we obviously wouldn't exist. Our guests and our staff, but we've had a good following for quite a while. And so when we moved from the west side of Bangor just to the east side of Bangor, we kind of carried that, and grew, of course, because the building's bigger, the kitchen's set up for volume. Kitchen's probably about 3 times bigger than the last building. So
this last time we just went, I saw pictures of, seems like some awards that you won, different things. Do you want to talk a little bit about what we're seeing there?
Yeah. So again, uh, Salsaleedos is community strong. You know, it takes a village, and we realize that. Travis was he was in Salsaleedos is with the Chamber of Commerce. He was with the West Jordan Chamber. Then we were with the Southwest Valley Chamber. Now we're with the South Valley Chamber. So we won a couple Business of the Year awards. Travis won Businessman of the Year in 2012. I won Businessman of the Year in 2015. Yeah, thanks. I was actually on the board of directors for the Southwest Valley Chamber. I did probably about 5 years plus of voluntary work with them. So it was a good chance for me to kind of be involved in the community through another outlet, being Salsaleedos, so to speak. You know what I mean? So it was great. We sponsor, like this year, we're sponsoring Riverton Town Days. I'm actually going to put up a booth at the 4th of July festivities. I'm going to do a booth at the rodeo. So yeah, that's what we're doing.
Right on. Well, we're always looking for sponsors if you want to sponsor a podcast.
I love it. Oh,
so there is so many Mexican restaurants in the Valley. So what kind of sets your place apart from all the others?
A lot of it is us. It's the staff. You know, we're a mom and pop shop. We're not a big corporate restaurant. Nothing against them. It's just they're limited to kind of what they can do. You know, we set goals. We're a lot of our staff that we have now have a handful of staff that have been with us for, some of them as long, if not longer than I've been there. So more than 10 years, you know what I mean? Again, a community that we are involved in the community big time. There was, I don't know if you remember back a few years, there was a guy running around Harriman with a gun and actually shut Harriman and Riverton down. They locked it down to catch him. And so, you know, we're just like, no, that's just crazy, you know? So we decided to, we play a name game every Wednesday. It's called What's Your Name Wednesday. And we pick two names, usually a female and a male. But this time we decided to say, Harriman, if you live in Harriman, you eat free. Oh, you know, wow. Obviously one per table, of course. But so we fed Harriman, then we fed Riverton the next Wednesday, and then Bluffdale. We decided to feed Bluffdale the next Wednesday. So, you know, you don't see that at other restaurants. Also, the management, I try to talk to every table that comes in there. Sometimes it's not possible, but that's a goal we set, and I think that sets us apart. You know, I go out to eat quite often to get ideas and you know, saturate their process of and their structure and their flow and operation. And I'm like, it makes me a better manager because I'm usually, you know, I try not to be too critical, but you know, my daughter, she's like, you're judgmental. Like, you know, like I have to be, you know, I have to criticize and you just don't see it as much. So I think that sets us apart.
And I would say the food is good too. So that kind of helps, right?
Right. The product is definitely good, which keeps you coming back. You know, the chips and salsa, we have a really good salsa. I think we have the best salsa that I've ever had, you know?
Yeah, it is good. It is really good. We always clean out the salsa bowl before the chips are gone, which is a rare thing to do when you go to a place like that.
Right. Well, it's, you know, freshness is a difference you taste, really. And if you have fresh ingredients and stuff, people are going to notice. You can't have I'm not really too down for the bottle of salsa on the table.
Speaking of how good your food is, so I got two questions for you. One, what would you say like the most popular thing is that people get there? And then two, what's your favorite thing to eat?
Okay. So the most popular thing is our street tacos, our carne asada street tacos.
Right.
It's the number one selling item. We do have a Taco Tuesday to where there's pretty much 85% of our taco options are you eat until you are full. But
which
still,
was just a kind of tangent here. That was like a life-changing thing for me and my wife. We've been going there for a while, but then you actually stopped by the table because I was looking at a plate of street tacos, walked past me, and you're like, "Hey man, do you have any questions?" And I'm like, "What are those?" You're like street tacos, and you're like, "It's Taco Tuesday." And you explained it to me. I'm like, "Are you kidding me? Like I can have all that I can eat for the normal price that would be the day before, right?" So you don't like up the price; it's the same price, right?
it's same price. Yeah.
And you get all that you want. So it's hard. Like every Tuesday, my wife's like, "Let's go Taco Tuesday."
Yeah. It's definitely, if you're going to cheat and have a cheat day, you want it to be on Tuesday.
Yeah. And don't eat until you get there, right?
Right.
You want a lot of
for sure.
room in the
The
tank.
record is 23 tacos, believe it or not.
Oh, there's no way I could even come close to that.
Man, I have two and I'm like full.
Maybe 15 years ago when I was in shape.
Yeah. So that, I would say that's our most popular. And of course, cheese enchiladas and the go-to Mexican food. A lot of people have bean and cheese burritos. I think that's kind of the inexperienced Mexican grill diner, just because they're not stepping out of their box. And the only reason I say that is because I used to be that same way. Right. Until I started working at Salsaleedos. And I mean, I didn't really like onions or peppers or anything. And now I'm just like, I'm all in. I'll eat whatever. And it tastes good. Probably our most famous dish is the molcajete. Do you guys know what that is?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It'll feed two comfortably. Every restaurant in the vicinity gets their food from Cisco, Nicholas, Walmart, or US Foods. There's not, you know what I mean? It all depends on your cooks and your recipes and stuff as far as how and the process, how it tastes, and I think that our food is, I've been to other places where it's very authentic Mexican food, which is good. I can dig it. But ours is more of a Mexican / Tex-Mex, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, it's really good American Mexican.
One of your burritos, is it called a burrito?
Burrito.
Burrito. You put and you put a queso sauce on it.
Yeah.
Just awesome.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Those and your street tacos, I think, would be my two go-to for me.
Right. Yeah, that would be some good choices. We're actually having have you heard of Taste Off Utah?
Yes.
Okay, so we are providing them with some queso next week.
Oh.
It's going to be, I think, 13th, 14th, 15th, or that Thursday, Friday, Saturday of the following week after Cinco de Mayo. So it's going to be pretty cool. We're filling up 300 plus 8-ounce containers all 3 days. So over 900 8-ounce containers of queso we're putting out.
What's great about that is, even for people that haven't heard of you yet, it's a way that they get exposed to.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yep. Right. For sure.
If you can only eat one more thing there at the restaurant, what would you order?
So, or
do you have an off-menu item that you have the
I
cooks
do.
make?
You know what? Yeah, I got bored real quick. With the, I mean, it's a big menu, and you can only have everything so often.
Right.
But the ribs, I don't know if you gents have ever tried the ribs. But the green chili, baby back, fall off the bone ribs. They're delicious.
I was tempted to get one of that on the menu. I got a chili verde burrito, but I was eyeing that one.
Right. Yeah. So a lot of people think, oh, ribs at a Mexican joint, but they're good. It's a green chili chipotle marinade. We put them in and then slowly roast them at 200 degrees for about 3 hours. So the meat literally just falls right off the bone. So I've gotten creative with those. I've made fried rib tacos. We incorporated a rib sandwich with Mexican garlic fries. That's one of our lunch items, and that's really good too. It's on some thick white bread from Salt City Bakery, and then we put onions and of course the ribs, and we take bones off, of course, when we put them on the sandwich. And the Mexican garlic cheese fries are really good too. Mix them in a garlic sauce and then put melt some cheese on it. That's a big hit.
Well, another thing so again, my first time being there, I really noticed the artwork and the stuff you have on the walls there. Is there, who was it that did all that?
Yeah. So that gal named Jerry Cordoba, and she's actually pretty popular. I guarantee you've seen her work around. She has at Salsaleedos, she brought the kind of the Day of the Dead style, and that mural on the wall where you guys were sitting, where I met you, Brandon, which you guys were at the perfect table for that too. I don't know if you realize that, but you were the mural wall table.
Exactly.
And so that's actually a Travis and Terry, and then their dogs and their 2 sons are all incorporated into that. When we were remodeling the place and she was painting that, she actually let my daughter, so this was in 2017, so almost 4 years ago, and she let my daughter sign it. There's a seahorse that she painted on there, and my daughter put her name on there. So that's kind of cool.
Cool.
Yeah, she's very talented. So Jerry Cordoba, you can find her on Instagram, Facebook. One of our beer reps, actually our good friend Andrew Valdez, he's a beer rep for Coors for M&M distribution, and that man he's a go-getter. And he once I let him in, it kind of looks like M&M/Coors sponsors us, because he has about 90% of the taps, and he actually recommended her. We're thinking of having her paint something on the outside of Lido's.
And of course, we have to talk about, you've got the big fun seat in the front of the restaurant as well.
Yeah, the Lido Cedo.
And that's pretty new though, right?
It is. We got it. About a year and a half ago. Well, let's see. I take that back. It was about.
Time has no meaning anymore.
Yeah. 2020 is just a blur, but yeah, we actually, it wasn't even a year ago, so it is fairly new. And we had a buddy make that. His name's Sean. He made that, and it's about 250 pounds.
Yeah, fit the 2 of us on it. So
that's one of me.
Right.
So if you can pick me up, you can pick that up.
Mm-hmm. I love it.
But you also, if you you guys have like a little kind of Instagram thing for that, right?
Yes.
Or
So
contest.
Tag Lido Cedo, all the hashtags and stuff. Yeah, we do. So, and we throw out contests quite a bit, actually. Tag Lido Cedo and share it to our Facebook page, Instagram page, whatever. We'll randomly pick winners and for brunch passes or whatever. So that's another thing too. I don't know if you guys knew that we do a Sunday brunch. That's quite a hit. Actually, we've been doing that for about 5 years. So
yeah, I've seen the advertisement for it, but I've never been. But the contest kind of segues a little bit into my next question, is that you guys have a pretty cool like rewards program, correct?
yes, a rewards program that is key. You know, it's always nice to have new faces come in and people hear about us and come check it out and love us. The goal is to get them to come back with their loved ones, you know, their friends and loved ones, bring people back and come back in. So really the only way to do that is to hook them up on our rewards program. It's amazing. So basically $1 per dollar or $1 per point. You hit a certain allotment of points, you get a free dinner, a $10 award voucher. We have birthdays, half birthdays, anniversaries. Some people, if they don't have kids, they say, well, our dog's our kid. And I'll say, well, put your dog's birthday down and we'll mail you a voucher for your dog's birthday. You come in, get a free lunch, you know? So yeah, it's Royalty Rewards is that's who our rewards program is through, and they're huge.
And the fun one awesome. You usually do every year, and you sent one to my friend, but you didn't send one to me, so I got a bone to pick with you about it. But
I know what you're going to say.
The tax rebate one.
Oh, okay, tax rebate. Yeah. Maybe you owe taxes. I'm sorry, man.
Well, I don't get a tax refund check. I pay taxes, so I'm one of those lucky people.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
So that might be
how it is now. Yeah, we're paying. I thought you were going to the when you started saying what we mail out is the no peeky, the red envelopes. You know about those?
Are they like a random prize of some sort?
No, so every year we do our no peeking envelopes. We send them out. We put them all. Yeah, every ticket gets one, and that's a huge thing we do too. We pretty much spend about 20 grand or more in prizes, from free meals to we do a main prize, usually a TV. Hats, hoodies, shirts, vouchers, tumblers, sports bottles, all that stuff. And we have, fried ice cream, you name it. And so we put each prize on the back of these envelopes, and inside, and actually Royalty Rewards does this for us now. They make just a bunch of vouchers for whatever we decide, and then they send them to us, and it's 3,000 envelopes or more that we just hand out, and you can't open it, you can't peek until you bring it back in January. So, it brings us a lot of business in January, which is great. If you're mad because you didn't win the TV and you get up and leave, or you're happy because you won a queso appetizer. You know what I mean?
I don't think anybody can be mad about that.
No.
Well, TVs only cost like $10 anyways now, right? So it's probably more value in the queso.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of people, we really appreciate all of our guests. Everyone that walks through through that door, we just appreciate them. The staff too. I can never say enough about our staff. They're awesome. It's hard work. I don't know if either one of you guys have worked in a restaurant.
I have, yes.
Yeah. So and it's we're on top of it. You know what I mean? And I think that all stems from Travis being a genuine owner that isn't afraid to pick up wring out a towel and go bust a table or whatever. It's great. So yeah, it's all about the staff helping you out and making sure that it's a well-oiled machine, so to speak. And yeah. Thank you.
You better go to bed because Cinco de Mayo. Well, this will actually come out on Cinco de Mayo, so you got a busy day ahead of you.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's our biggest day of the year. So we're definitely we're planning ahead, and we're gonna provide some extraordinary 5-star experiences for sure. So thanks to you guys.
Yeah, no problem. And we'll say hi next time we drop in.
Well, I am never going to miss an opportunity to try a new delicious place.
Yeah, I mean, he mentioned it a few times that it's kind of a fun atmosphere there. Everybody's super nice, super friendly, and it also helps that the food's good as well. But we're gonna have to go back and try the ribs. It just seemed weird when we were at the restaurant the other day, and you brought up ribs. I'm like, is that really like a Mexican dish? If you're gonna go to a Mexican restaurant, do you get ribs? But now I want to try it. Because he mentioned it. So.
And there's lots of authentic all over the place. Like if you find a taco truck on the corner of the old Sears building, you're going to find some authentic. They can take some liberties not saying they're an authentic Mexican restaurant. And that's why you get some delicious, I'm assuming, ribs. If you don't have plans this Cinco de Mayo, venture down Riverton Way and give Salsaleedos a try. Or maybe don't, because it might be a little busy.
I was going to say, most Mexican restaurants are going to be pretty busy, especially this place. So if you are going to go there, I would recommend maybe doing a Cinco de Mayo Eve. Yeah. And go there on Tuesday, get the taco Tuesday.
Or you can just celebrate Cinco de Mayo the whole week.
Well, and like all other restaurants, they got pretty good at doing the takeout stuff. I've done takeout from there as well. So, as I say, even before COVID hit, they would still have a pretty decent line at night to get in there. So, it's a pretty popular location. Well, Feliz
Cinco de Mayo.
Feliz Navidad.
Gracias por escuchar a Este es un lugar podcast.
Nos vemos. Chao.
Cuando me traes a mi negra, que